Hi there, if you want to learn how to create sound effects, then you're in the right place. In this video, I'll be showing you how you can create some gory, juicy sound effects using sounds that you can create with only your mouth. All right, so here we are inside of Reaper, and the first thing we're going to do here is to load a track, and I'm going to make sure it's armed. I'm not going to put it on just now, but all we're going to do here is I'm just going to do a little short recording session of just making these kind of gushy and juicy noises with my mouth, and it can even be like throaty sounds for this kind of gore sounds that I'm going for. So yeah, here you can just be creative and just see what comes out. So here we go. All right, so here is our track. Maybe I'll cut out this little section here in the middle. But this is what I have so far. And so now with this here, I'm going to start to just design a little bit and add some effects and see what kind of cool sounds we can get. So the first thing I like to start with is some sort of like phaser sound, because with it you can get a lot of that like juicy texture kind of sounds you can get, some liquidy sounds out of this. Phasers are pretty good for that. So let's see what we can do with that. All right, so with this you get a lot of those mid sounds, so I'm just going to bring down the wet dry here. Now what this is also doing though is adding width to your sound, so you get a lot more stereo information in the sound. So I'm just going to bring it back in here with recenter like this. All right, next here, I'm just going to add a bit of shaper table here. This is just to kind of boost our sound a little bit, maybe a bit of distortion too, but I want to keep it pretty clean, so let's hear it. So that's pretty good. Next here, I'm just going to add soothe here just to kind of tame a bit of those higher frequencies. So if we listen to what it's doing. Right, so just keeping it clean. Now next here, what we could do, I don't know if I really want to do this here, is like cut out some of those lows and mids. It sound a little bit cleaner, but I don't know that I want to cut it completely out. I'm just going to tame it a little bit there. Next here, I'm just going to boost up our sound a bit here, especially in the mids. Bring down the wet, increase the dry a bit. All right, so just bringing out those mid frequencies a little bit more. Again, these are all kind of subtle changes, but altogether they're going to add up and make a big difference. Okay, next here I'm going to do another instance of phaser here, again to add more of that liquidy sound. But this time, instead of doing like the lows here at around 400, I'm going to see if I can do some of the mids here around 2000. So let's see what we got here. So I like here around 14 to 16. And the trick here that I try to go for, what I'm trying to do here is to keep it, to keep the minimum here and the maximum pretty close together, like only a few hundred hertz apart. So 14 to 1600. The other one here, our first one that I had 400 to 600. Right, so only within like 1 to 200 apart, just so it has more of that liquidy sound. At least that's what I found to have, to get good results. That's what I found works. So again, I'm going to try it again. I want to see if I can get some more of that high end sound. So I'm going to go a little bit higher, but same idea here. All right, so pretty good. Next, I'm going to add a limiter here just to control our sound. Might boost it a little bit. All right, the next thing we could do here is kind of auto filters just to move along with the envelope of the sound. So I'm just going to add a filter here. Let's try this, and then I'm going to do audio follower here. I'm going to put that with the cutoff here. So because this is a low pass, I'm just going to go downwards, and let's start a bit higher here. Could maybe increase the Q a bit. Right, you get that kind of liquidy part of the sound right there. And I'm going to do here the opposite, except this time it's going to be a low cut or high pass, and then I'm going to make the cutoff go upwards. Okay, so that's pretty good to me. Next, I'm going to do a similar thing here, but this time, actually, let's just copy and paste this over. Maybe not have such a filter slope here. And then maybe also a different kind of filter here, maybe this one here. So it's getting a bit loud, so I'm just going to add a limiter on this. And a bit of gain, just so we can see what it's doing without having to change the volume over time here. All right, so it's adding a bit of movement here with the filters. I was kind of experimenting with this one. Didn't really find one that I liked, so I kind of took it off, but we could put that back in too. All right, but let's keep it going here. All right, so I'm adding here just another limiter, just to make sure we're controlling the sound. I don't think it really needs it. Yeah, it doesn't really need it, so let's take it off. One of the things then that now that we could do, I like how liquidy it is what we could start to do here is adding more of the bass back in, more body back into it. So I'm going to put on here 2 dispersers. This is really just good for adding that kind of liquidy low end. Another thing we could do here is add something like bass lane here. Right, so it's making the bass a bit wider though, but that's okay. I don't mind that for this part of the sound. Next here is we could add something like sub-synth here, just to, again, adding more bass and body, see if it sounds good. That could work, that's fine. Then just to end it off here, sometimes I like to check out if a soft clipper can help here a little bit, so let's see that. And there you go. Okay, so now, if there's some parts that you don't like, or you don't like the bass, whatever, you can take off these plugins. You can also just do a low cut here. There you go. Now what I can do here is I can just export this either as a file. I can do more takes of it. And you can see here, I've also done other takes. So if I show you this one here, I've done a similar effects chain here, and these are some of the results I got for this one here. Also, again, very liquidy, very gushy, and yeah, it's just a matter of now just cutting these parts out or just exporting it as is, and then you can bring it back to your project, chop it up, and use those sounds. It can be used as its own. I've used this as on their own for redesigns. You can also layer it with other sounds. All right, so that is it. I hope you found that useful and valuable, and now that you don't have to go and like just record everything in your kitchen to try to get some nice gory sounds. You don't have to ruin all your fruits and vegetables just to be able to record some cool sounds. Not that you can't do that and you can't use those vegetable sounds as Gore sound design. Of course, they are very useful, but if you just want to get something quick, something unique, something that only you can create with your mouth, this can be a cool way to create some Gore sounds that actually works. And like I said, I've used this for my sound designs, for my sound effects and my redesigns, and and it's come out really well. So if you want to see a video where I actually used this technique to create gore sounds and you want to see it in practice, I'll put a link or a card in the video here, so just so if you want to go see it, you can check it out. And if you have any comments, questions, leave it down below. I'm always happy to answer them. And I think that's it for now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.